Quantum Ezon Career Institute. You are transforming learners into quantum professionals through a uniquely crafted, progressive journey of fundamentals, applied computing, and advanced algorithms.
Hi everyone, welcome to a world that is quietly but profoundly reshaping our future. As they say, the world innovation with quantum. Now, let me begin with something very simple. Have you ever wondered why your smartphone works so seamlessly? Or why lasers can perform surgery with incredible precision? Do you think that these are just better versions of old inventions? Well, here's a surprising truth. None of these would ever exist without a completely different way of understanding reality, a way called the quantum theory. Welcome to Module 1, Introduction to the Quantum World. In today's session, we are going to explore that why quantum theory became necessary, what classical physics could not explain, and how quantum thinking changed everything. And don't worry, no equation, no heavy math, just clear ideas, relatable examples, and a fresh way to see the universe. So, for sure, let us start off by why quantum theory was needed. To understand quantum theory, we first need to understand a problem. That for centuries, scientists believed that the universe worked like a perfectly predictable machine. This idea is known as classical physics. Think of it as a game of billiards. You strike one ball, it hits another, and if you know the exact speed and direction, you can easily predict what happens next. And honestly, it worked beautifully for everyday things like cars, planets, bridges, and even sports. But then, scientists started looking deeper into atoms, electrons, and energy itself. And suddenly, the thing stopped making sense. Experiments began producing results that defied logic. No matter how hard they tried, classical physics just could not explain them. So, quantum theory was not created because the scientists wanted something new. It was created because the old rules stopped working. So, basically, classical physics works for the big world but fails at very small scales, forcing scientists to rethink everything. So, let me highlight the limitations of classical physics. So let's make this concrete. Classical physics is built on three simple assumptions. One, that objects have exact speed, position, and second, energy flows smoothly like water. Third, observing something does not change it. Sounds reasonable, right? But at the atomic level, all three of these laws break. For example, when scientists studied how hot objects glow, classical theory predicted something absurd. They should have an infinite energy, which clearly does not happen. And then there's light. Sometimes it behaves like a wave, other times like particles. Classical physics insisted it was say one or the other, but experiments say it is somehow both. These weren't small errors, they are deep cracks in the foundation. So, to give you a small summary, at microscopic scales, classical assumptions fail. Energy is not continuous and nature behaves in unexpected ways. And this brings the birth of quantum mechanics. So, what did scientists do? They wanted something bold. They stopped facing reality to fit the old ideas in, and they started listening to experiments. In 1900s, Max Planck proposed something revolutionary. That energy comes in tiny packets called quanta. Think of it like a staircase instead of a ramp. And you can stand on one or step on one, but not in between. This idea changed everything. Soon after, Albert Einstein showed that light behaves like particles, or explained that how atoms are structured, and Schrödinger described quantum systems as waves. These discoveries sounded strange, even unbelievable, but every experiment confirmed them. So, quantum mechanics was not intuitive, but it worked. So, quantum mechanics emerged by accepting that energy is discrete and that nature behaves in fundamentally new ways. Then, moving on to quantum thinking versus classical thinking. Now, this is the important shift. Classical thinking says that if we know enough, we can predict everything. But quantum thinking says that there are limits to what we can know. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine a flipping coin. Classically, it is either heads or tails. You just don't know it yet. But in the quantum world, before you look, the coin has both heads and tails at the same time. This is called superposition. And when two particles become deeply connected, even across distance, that is called entanglement. So now, here's a question for you. What do you think happens when you observe a coin? Think about it, reflect, and give answer. Yes, the observation forces it to choose a state. That's not philosophy, and that's how the nature behaves. So, the quantum systems can exist at multiple states at once, and observation plays a key role in determining the outcomes. Now, let us understand the real world impact and applications. Now, you might be wondering, okay, this is fascinating, but where is it useful? Let me connect it to reality. Quantum principles powers technologies like quantum computers to solving problems classical computers struggle with, quantum cryptography with ultra secure communication, quantum sensors with its extremely precise measurements, and even today's technologies like semiconductors, lasers, MRI machines all rely on quantum ideas. So, this isn't just theory, it's already shaping our daily life. Quantum theory is not abstract. It powers the modern technology and enables the next generation innovation. Let me clarify something important and address a more common misconception. Many people think that quantum physics means everything is random and chaotic, but that is not true. Quantum systems follow precise mathematical rules. They are just different from what we are used to. It is not chaos, but it's a deeper level of order. And at this juncture, let us pause and understand in a bit of creative way by an EV which are specially created for you.
Good morning, everybody. Let us start with a thought experiment. Imagine you design a perfect traffic system using classical physics. Every car follows the rules. Every traffic light is timed to perfection. Now, tell me, will there still be traffic jams?
Yes, because people don't behave ideally.
Exactly. Classical physics works beautifully until nature or people stop behaving ideally.
Sir, classical physics has given us engine, bridges, satellites. What went wrong?
Nothing went wrong, Daksh. It is just reached its limits. This is how energy should behave according to classical physics. When scientists looked closely at atoms, electrons, and light, nature said, nice theory, but no.
So, quantum theory was like damage control?
More like a full system upgrade. Take light, classically, it's a wave. Waves spread energy smoothly.
Like ripples in water?
Exactly. But when scientists shone light on metal, electrons didn't gradually come out. They popped out in a sudden burst.
Even if the light was dim?
Yes, only if the light had the right frequency, nature delivers energy in packets.
So energy isn't continuous, it's chunked?
Congratulations, you just reinvented the system. Quantum comes from quanta, the smallest chunks nature allows, and brilliant minds. Planck, Einstein, both had to accept that reality does not follow common sense.
Why reluctantly?
Because quantum mechanics is weird. Particles act like waves. You cannot know everything at once. Observing something changes it.
That sounds illegal.
Physics agreed. Experiments didn't. Nature does not care about our rules. Now, here's a mindset shift. Classical thinking asks, where is the particle? Quantum thinking asks, what are the probabilities?
Wait, electrons don't have positions?
They do, but not until you measure them. Reality is not undecided, it is unmeasured.
So reality is lazy, waiting for us to check?
Not lazy Daksh, just probabilistic. That is the heart of quantum thinking. Uncertainty is fundamental.
So, this is fascinating. But why engineers care?
Because modern technology is built on quantum rules. Transistors in your phone, lasers in fiber communication, MRI machines, atomic clocks in GPS, and now we are even designing devices that deliberately use quantum effects, quantum computers, quantum sensors, and quantum communication.
So research is discovering possibilities and industry is turning them into products.
Exactly. Both parts need curiosity and courage.
What skills actually matter for us?
Curiosity, comfort with uncertainty, and the courage to rethink assumptions you thought were absolute. Remember, quantum mechanics was not invented to be mysterious. It was invented because nature refused to obey the classical rules. If you want to build the next generation of technology, you must first accept how the world truly works, not how you wish it worked. Now, here's your challenge. If the reality itself is probabilistic, how should that change the way you design technology and think as an engineer?
Did you enjoy the story? And if yes, we'll continue this way in all our future modules. And if no, we can drop it. Your feedback is valuable to me. Now, looking ahead, just imagine a future where we all can apply such quantum computing. Medicines are discovered faster. Data is completely secure. Problems once thought impossible became solvable. That's the promise of quantum technologies. And here's the exciting part. You're not just learning about the future, but you are preparing to be a part of it. And at this stage, you don't need to, master everything. You should just remember that classical physics explains the big world and quantum mechanics explains the small world. And that small world controls everything. In the next module, we'll explore these ideas step by step with even more clarity and intuition. So, before we end, let us quickly recap. So, basically, quantum theory emerged because classical physics failed at small scales. Experiments reveal strange but consistent behaviors. Energy is discrete and outcomes are probabilistic. And quantum thinking challenges the intuition but better reflects reality. Alright everyone, now it's your turn to test your knowledge with some quiz. Are you ready to test your understanding? To use it when you can get this right. Let us see how well you have stepped into the quantum world. Take a moment, think carefully, no rush. So, my first question is that why was quantum theory developed? Option A, to improve the speed of classical machines. Or option B, because classical physics failed to explain the phenomenon at very small scales. Or option C, to replace mathematics in physics. Yes, the correct answer is option B, because classical physics could not explain what happens at atomic and subatomic levels. So, next question is that which assumption of classical physics fails at the quantum level? Option A, energy comes in discrete packets. Option B, measuring a system can change its states. Or option C, that objects can have exact position and speed at all times. The correct answer is option C. At the quantum level, we cannot precisely know both position and speed simultaneously. The next question is that what does superposition mean? A particle which exists only when observed, or B, a particle that can exist in multiple states at the same time, or C, a particle moves faster than light. Yes, you're right. The correct answer is option B. A quantum system can exist in multiple states until measured. Now, the next question is that who introduced the idea of energy quanta? Option A, Albert Einstein. Option B, Niels Bohr. Or option C, Max Planck. Yes, the correct answer is option C. Max Planck proposed that energy is quantized. Now the final question for the day. Which is a quantum-based technology? Option A, a steam engine. Option B, a quantum computer. Or option C, a windmill. Yeah, and I think this was pretty obvious. The correct answer is option B. Quantum computers rely directly on quantum principles. So, how did you do? Did you get them all right or almost there? Either way, you are on the right track. Learning quantum technologies is not about perfection. It is about curiosity, consistency, and willingness to think differently. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep learning. This journey is not about memorizing strange facts or not. It's about learning a new way to think. And today, you have just taken your very first step into the quantum world. Before I close, let me leave you with this thought. Learn today what the future demands tomorrow. Thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience. I'd love to hear your questions. All the very best for your journey to the quantum world, and I'll see you in the next module.